Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this segment we will learn Python list. Now the question is, what is list? List is a mutable ordered sequence of items of mixed data type. What is mutable? We know that means it can be changed, unlike Python string, and it's an ordered sequence. And mixed data type means, and here you can store integer, floating point, boolean type variables and string. Now let us learn by doing. Say what is a list, how to create a list. First I create an empty list, say variable empty underscore list, and list is created by us place of by placing to square bracket like this, and within the square bracket nothing is there, that means it is an empty list. That means empty underscore list, in this variable an empty list is assigned, and if we just print the empty list and it contains nothing, this is an empty list. And if you want to create a list of integers, then within some variables, and you can place within square bracket, and every integer value is separated by comma. This is a list of integers, and if you run this you will get this integer list 2170. And likewise you can create a floating point list, say float list, whatever. This does not mean it's float, and you can do any variable name here, whatever may be the variable name, doesn't matter. And this is a list of floating point numbers. And you can also create a list of strings, like, and strings always within quote, double quote here, say I, EP, IA, etc. These are list of strings. Is a list contains strings items, and you can also contains a different data types, say it's a integer, and it's a string, it's a float point, and it's a boolean type true and false, say t. And this is a list of list containing items or elements of different data type. This is also a list. And you can also create a list of duplicate items, say 1 1 2 1 1 3 3 5 8. It can also be created. And this is all about creation of list, simple kind of thing. And I can it is a mutable kind of thing, I can change it and do it many things. I will just explain just in this lecture later on. And now the main important thing is index. And what is indexing? That means the position of each item within the list. Here 2170. If we print the list like this, integer list in the square bracket 0, that means the position of the first item, 0th item. This is the 0th item, and the position of this 1 is 1, and this is 2, and this is a 3. This is a indexing, that means the position, the integer list, and if we make it 1, that means it's a position of, it will print 1, and if you make it 2, it will print 7, and if you make it 3, and then it will print 0, and if you make it 4, that means index error. That means list index out of range, that means 4 is there are only 4 items with index starts from 0 to 3. So 4 index will not be there, so that is up to 3. Now there is a caveat. The Python index, say I am learning by say this is say I am just suppose I have a list like something like that, say something like that, a list of this thing P T H O N, and sorry, and this should be, and all should be within quote unquote, within quote, because these are string. Sorry for because quote is important here. first you place the quote and then you write. It is easier for collab, and you run this. I hope so. And there is another quote must be there. This is a list containing all the string Python, Python. Here the position of this this should be cap O, something like that. And this is a list containing string, and this is in this diagram it is shown here. This is the index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3 and so on. But here is a the main important thing, the negative index. That means negative index starts from the end. This is -1, this is -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. This is the negative index of Python. And if we just want to access the first item, as discussed before, this is the 0th item, and this will return P. And if we make it -6, this is also identical, that is P. And if we make it -7, then just check it, list is out of index because it is not there. So this is up to -6. If we make it -4, then it will return T, and there is 2 minus, so it is minus. This is basically T. And I hope you understand that negative index starts from -1 and it goes to -6. Now just like this thing, there is an integer list, and I have discussed already all the items, and last item is -1. I just show you, this is a n, this will return n, and if we make it 5, then it will be also n. I hope you understand the negative index and the positive index series of indexing a Python list. Now I am discussing the nested list. What is nested list? In Python you can create a nested list, and which a list that contains another list as elements. This allows you to create a multi-dimensional data structures. Here how you can create and work with nested list. I am showing you an example. Say nested list equals to, it's a variable. Within that there is a square bracket here and here, and within that there is another list 1.2, 3.14, 4.5, comma, there is another list, and there is some item. Now if we want to access this list, this item 1.2, that means it is within this third or square bracket, this is the first item, this is the second item, and this is the third item. Or rather, this is 0th item in Python indexing notation. This is 0th, this is first, and this is second. And this is the first 0th item, and the first 0th element, and within that there is a list of list, that means another list, and this is 0th, that means you can thought of as a 0th item. That means first 0 is select this object, and within that if you want to select 1.2, this the second square bracket indicate that. And if you want to 3.14, first you select the first item, that is 0, because within that square bracket. Now I access the second item, that is 1, and if you want to access the third item, that is 2. And now within this list, within the outer list, there is a second item, that means 1th item, first item rather, sorry, this is the first item, and that means that is denoted as 1, and within that this is a 0th item, that is 0, and this is the second item, that means 1, second item is 1, basically 1 index less, and this is the third item, that means 2th item, 1, 2, that is 1, 2, and this is the last item, because the first item, 0th item, 1 item, and second item, the only one element, 0. If we print this, if we run this, it will print that means 0 0 means 1.2. That means you can thought of as a 0th row first column, 0th row 0th column, 0th row first column, 0th row third column, for second column rather, 0 1 2. In this way you can thought of, or the 0th item, within that the indexing runs. First item, within that starts the another index within another square bracket, and in this way. In this way you create a list of list or nested list, whatever you call it. And there is another example of nested list, and this is a list, and within that 1 2 3 0th item, first item, second item, and this entire object is third item, fourth item, and fifth item. Now if you want to access, if we lst and I have to run this first, and if I run this it will return 1, and if you want to access this first item, that will return 2, and if you just 3, that means this is 0 1 2 3, the whole object is the third element, and within that if you want to access the first item, this is 0, that will return 1, and if you make it 2, that is 2, that is 3 rather, 0 1 3, 0 1 2, that is 3, and if you make it much more interesting, it will return another list, this thing. In order to access 8, if you want to place another square bracket of 0th item, that will return 8, and it is the first, that will return 5. In this way you can access, and if you make this is 0th item, first, second, whole thing is third, and this is fourth item, that will return 4 5, another list. In order to access only 5, that means 1th object, this 0th object, 1th object within that list, in the similar way. And if you want to access the 5th item, that will return the value 6. I hope you understand the list, nested list or list of list. And now we discuss the slicing of list. Slicing means a certain portion of list, slice, just like you think of a cake and you slice it and give it to friends and your near dear one, just a slice of thing. That means whole list, I make it a slice of it. You can obtain one by utilizing slice operator. It is important to note that a slice of a list is itself a list. It is also another list. Slicing operation is denoted by, within a square bracket, n colon m. N is some index, m is another index in Python. It retrieves the section of the list starting from nth item up to, but not including the mth item. I already told you the last index always repulsive in Python, that will not be included, up to but not included. The mth item will not be. This means it includes the element at the beginning, that is nth object will be included, but mth object will not be included. It will runs up to the index m minus 1 internally. Okay, and if we want to print the whole list, then I can say I just working with some list. Say list is say I want to create a list. Say list is equals to li, say this sort of objects I already created, somehow it deleted. And this is a list, and if we print the whole list, we know list colon operator, this will print the whole list. Or and if we want to create the first, if we want to first 3, not the first 3, and if we create 1 to 5, that means 0 index 1 2 3, and within the gap of this, that means that is 0, that is 1 means here that is 3.09, and up to 5, but that is not there, within the gap of 2, that means this item not there, and if this item is not there, it is skipped, and the last item is printed. Why this list D, and if we make it 1, then TAPA will be printed. Then TAPA, that means start index, n minus 1 index, and that is and if you make it 4, that is also whatever, and 0 1 2 3, basically it's up to 3, but because in this case you can write anything, because it is not that means if you make it 2, then this TAPA item will not be printed, but if you just remove this part, it will bring an error here. I'm sorry, this is up to that whole thing will be, but it is not there, it will not be an error, and it will print the whole thing. But you can also write this way also, or you can write this way also. Here, whenever there is a colon operator, there is no need to think about the indexing up to which it is there or not. And if you want to reverse the list, that means it will print in a reverse order, and that means colon, double colon, minus 1, that will print in a reverse direction. And this will be I have already discussed the negative index. Now the important thing is the append operation. This is a very important method. Say I have a list, I have this list LIS 1 2 3 4, and I am removing this part, not needed actually, and you can print this way also. This is the list, and this I remove, and this I remove, and list dot append, that means list dot append method will single element at the end of the list. Here list is 1 2 3.5 and 8. I am just adding 9 to the list, and that means 1 2 3.5 8 and 9 is added at the last index position, that is 9 is added, and if you print this, then 9 is added. This is the append method. Append means it will be added at the end of the list position. Now we discuss the extend method after append. Now we what is append method? Extend method rather. Extend method is to add multiple elements at the end of the list. Say another list, say L equals to 159, list dot extend L is there. Now we print the list. Then 1 2 3.5 and 8, 9 is added by append, and 159 is added after that. That means 159, this list is extended. This is the extended part of this list. And if we want to a particular index position, then we use the insert method. List dot insert 0 at 0th position. I want to insert 8. That means the first position is index, and second position is the value that or element I want to insert. That means 8 is inserted at the first position. That means 0th position. And if we print 2 star of list, that will be twice of the list. That means if we put n some integer, then n times of the list will be extended. That is 8 to 9, then another 8 to 9 is added that some sort of concatenations. And there is another list, say L equals to 180 minus 9 minus 5. Say I am just use the sort method, L dot sort, that will sort method will sort means order the list by ascending order by default. And if we use, that means minus 9 minus 5 0 1 8, that is the ascending order of the list, and L dot sort reverse equals to 1, then another one, that means if we just we use this list L equals to this object, and that is 1, that means reverse order, 8 1, that means descending order, 8 1 0 minus 5 and minus 9. Now I discuss the range function. The range function, start is optional, stop must not included, that means stop -1, and step is also optional. Say if we say range 5, that will create a integer 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means create a sequence of numbers from 0 to 4. And in order to print, this is a kind of iterable, that means iterate objects, list kind of thing. And I, alongside with the list, I introduce the for loop. And for x in means membership, that means within R, what is there, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the range will create 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in R colon, then indent, that is indenting part, that is print x. That means that every value of R in sequence will be assigned to x and x will be printed. And if we run this, and you will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we must say 5 to 10, then 10 will not be included. For x in R, that means x in R, for x in R, that is for loop, and print x, that means every value of R by R, every value of R will be printed. R, that means first value is 5, second value is 6, 7, 8 up to 9. And just check it out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Say I am writing 1 to 12 minus 2. But because I am just starting from 1 to 12, minus 2 is not valid one, but it will not give error, but nothing will be created, nothing will be printed, and this thing. And if we make it class 2, then just you see 1, 3, only 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 11. And that is, I have discussed the for loop. For loop is used for iterating over, iterate means repeated over a sequence, that is either a list or tuple or dictionary. Tuple or dictionary will be discussed later on, or a set or a string. That means for variable in sequence, range is create a iterables, that means a sequence or kind of list, and code block, that will be indented part. The variable following for, that means x here, is bound to the first value in the sequence, and the code block is executed. The variable is then assigned to the second value in the sequence, and the code block will be executed again and again. The process continues until the sequence is exhausted. And you can, in this light I am discussing also, you can for loop, the looping through a string for s in, say within string NASA, print s. That means in the variable s, n will be assigned, then a will be assigned, s will be assigned, and a will be assigned in sequence. That means it will print NASA. And another thing, the breaking of loop. So for y in Scott, print y if there is a conditional statement, if y equals to an equality checking, that means equality checking, that is if it encounters O, then the loop will be breaking. That means SCO, O is already encountered, that is printed, and after that O is encountered and the loop is broken here, that means break statement. I have that, and if colon, and that is also indented, that is within for, print y, within for, that is there is a if condition, and then break. The for loop will be broken after it encountering O. And there is another thing, that is continue. Say for y in Scottish colon, if y equals to O, then continue, then O character will be skipped, and after that I have written print y. That means that is if it encounters O, that will not be printed, SCTTISH. And in this you can also same similar way, in the similar fashion, O will not be printed. If y equals to, then break, then print statement will not be executed. Now another thing, say list is this is a list, LA language, Bengal, Bangla, Marathi, Mizo, Malayalam, and Spanish. For n, some variable in LAN, that means it indicates this list, print n. That means all the items in the list will be printed. You can also iterating by the index of sequences. That means this index is 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. For n in range, and there is another thing, the length of function. Length means that means length of this list, that is basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is 5. Length of this function, that means range 5, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that will be created. And print len, and within square bracket, that is n. The value of n is first 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And if you just run this and you just check it out, all the languages, all these objects, all these strings will be printed. And you can also access by print L0, that means Bangla, and length function, that means length of this string, length of this rather list, not string, and the list will be printed, that is 5. 0 to 4, that means 5. And here I am just ending this session, and next class we will discuss the while loop. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like and share among your friends and those who are interested in learning Python.